Hi, my name is Angelina Souren. I've become a bit of a specialist with regard to the topic of otherisation and everything related to it. Otherisation is directly tied to inequality, and the opposite of otherisation is inclusivity, giving people enough breathing space to be who they are, to allow them to flourish, to empower them, and to make them feel safe, not unsafe and targeted. People who otherwise often target people who they perceive as being lesser human beings, less valuable, less worthy, less powerful. This doesn't actually have to be the case. This can be a mere perception on the side of the person who is doing the otherization. Unfortunately, top politicians, potato head politicians I should say, continue to peddle authorization because they feel divide and conquer is the best way to get them votes. If you convince people that they have an enemy and then convince them that you will defend them against that enemy, you are authorizing the group of people that you are portraying as the enemy. And this verbal authorization can cajole people into aggression and violence. One example of how UK politicians authorize migrants was the so-called hostile environment policy introduced by then Home Secretary Theresa May. This policy is still in place. Was it the reason why Bijan Ibrahimi in Bristol was hunted down relentlessly for 7 years and then killed and set on fire? Ben Ibrahimi, bullied, terrorized for 7 years by neighbours, police and the city council in Bristol. One day he was killed and set on fire. 2 police officers went to jail for this, prison, and one of them still believes he did nothing wrong. Now we have Boris Johnson and Priti Patel.
And I hope they won't mind if I mention in particular 2 nurses who stood by my bedside for 48 hours when things could have gone either way. They're Jenny from New Zealand, Invercargill on the South Island to be exact, and Luis from Portugal near Porto.
Home Secretary Priti Patel explains what the perceived skill level of EU migrants is.
Low skill, low wage, low cost labour.
Priti Patel and Boris Johnson authorize migrants as well, very badly, for sure worse than Theresa May did. And what have we just seen, again in Bristol by the way? A family that has been living there for decades, running a hostel, was subjected to arson. 1 hour after the fire brigade put the fire out, there was another fire, and it's now being treated as arson. They have the support of their MP, but not the support from the police. In fact, the police asked them if they wanted to go back to Indonesia after decades, because there had been an arson attack. This is how otherisation works out in real life. This is why things that people like Theresa May, Boris Johnson and Priti Patel say are so dangerous. They whip up hate in the country, and it results in aggression and violence.